How we doing tonight, Leslie?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm getting better now. I had a little wildness going on. You had to drive so you weren't talking and driving to me while we're doing this. So it's been an interesting day today. My son started kindergarten today, so I've been up since 6:30 or so. He's been running around like a crazy person, so it's been an interesting day.
Well, cool. I'm glad. Congratulations on him doing that. That's wonderful. I have one more thing that might contribute to the whatever, though, is that I only have 9% on my battery.
Well, I guess that this is just our luck, right? Every time we try to do this interview, there's always something. Last time it was the travel arrangements. You were stuck in an airport. This time it's this. So we'll see what we can fill in here in the few minutes we're going to have you on here, I guess.
Okay.
So I just seen you're going to be part of the G4 Summit that's coming up in October.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's awesome. It's another big thing that Mark hasn't done in a few years, but it looks like he's finally got everything situated and together this year. I think that's something that's pretty cool in my opinion, because it gives a lot of the ladies that chance to kind of bond. It gives you more of you girls a chance to kind of work with one another, and they usually have some pretty cool stuff going on. And I also hear Shannon Knapp's going to be there, so some of the younger fighters that are trying to get their name out there have a great opportunity to do so.
Yeah, totally.
So, we just seen with everything that's been going on, even with you, 2-fight win streak, starting to get on a roll here. What's the plan moving forward? Do you have any names on the list, or just basically whoever the UFC gives you is the next victim on the list, so to speak?
No, I called out Betch Correia as soon as when Dan Hardy came out and did the in-cage interview after my last fight. I said I wanted to fight Betch immediately, but that hasn't really hasn't gotten a ton of attention. She's not paying attention to it because she knows it's a bad proposition for her. She knows that I would take that fight and it would move her down in the ranking. She's, I think she's like 1 or 2 people above me right now after a string of losses. She's been losing for a minute now. So, I don't know. She's definitely lost the privilege of fighting someone above her. So I think she should be fighting me. And then anybody else would be cool. But yeah, that's the top person on my list. I'd still like to fight Lena Landsberg. I mean, she was nice and she smiled and everything, but either way, she still fucking said that she wanted to fight me. And so that's calling someone out. You say you want to fight someone, that's calling someone out. It doesn't matter if you do it with a smile or not. So, I want to fight her too. So those are probably the top 2 names on my list right now.
And I was thinking, even though she just fought this past weekend, Sarah McMahon would also be another name to kind of go with it. She is coming off a loss now, but it's also could be an interesting matchup moving forward. Who knows?
Yeah, that could be a good one too.
I think with a lot of these guys, with a lot of these girls, you're going to get matched up. But the one thing you're always going to have is just no matter what. I still, I remember watching the Cyborg fight, and when they stopped, I was, I know you were in trouble, but and I'm with you on it. I think it was, maybe about 30 seconds or so too soon. If you were moving and whatnot, I still want to, maybe one day we could see if that ever can kind of get run back. And if I remember correctly, you guys had sparred at one point prior to that, so it's not like it was one of the things where.
Wait, if you remember correctly, what? Sorry, I didn't hear you. You said if you remember correctly, we what?
I thought you guys had sparred like at one point in time. Not like it was. I don't remember if it was for one of your fights or one of her fights. I thought I heard that you guys had leading up before.
Yeah, we trained together one time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought that you guys had worked together too. So.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of the stuff going on, everyone wants to have these interesting matchups and whatnot. I'm sure that they're still going to be willing girls to fight Chris. But I got to ask you
Man, hold on. Before we keep going, can I ask you for a favor?
Absolutely.
Will you stop calling them girls and start calling them women? I can explain why.
Yeah, it's more along the lines because I have daughters, so I guess I kind of refer to them as girls instead of women. That
right.
is my fault.
Girls and guys aren't really comparable. Boys and girls, those are the two titles that are on the same level. And, calling women girls, it kind of reinforces this patriarchal idea that they're immature and young and in need of guidance and, not on the same level as a man. It's interesting how we say be a man to someone or man up, and then we call adult women girls. It just, kind of enforces that divide and that disrespect towards adult mature women.
It really is. That's the only thing I can attribute that to. But I will do you a solid. I will do my best to moving forward to try to refer to you as women. Okay. Is that a deal?
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
But I got to ask
you. Do you feel dad-like to the fighters? Just out of curiosity?
What's that?
Do you feel like a dad to the fighters? Just out of curiosity? You're thinking it's the dad of you.
No, I don't feel like a dad to the fighters. No, I don't.
I'm just wondering.
It's okay. I can take it. I'm one of these people. I'm from Philly. I'm easy to put someone in their place. If I'm doing something wrong, please let me know so I can correct it. I can take it.
Well, thanks for being receptive. I appreciate it.
It's not a problem. But I got to ask you, looking at the top of the division, Amanda just defended the title Saturday. I'm one of these person. I think Raquel Pennington should be next in line. If you're Sean Shelby right now, would you be kind of looking at the same thing?
Oh yeah, totally. I hope that Raquel Pennington gets the next shot at the title. I think she could definitely beat Amanda Nunes. That would be wonderful. And then as soon as we've got Raquel in her spot for the title, I'll have at least one more win, maybe two more wins under my belt for a 4-fight winning streak. That would be the best. And I've beaten Raquel in the past. So I'll have a great claim towards a title fight. I think that would be perfect and ideal for both of the reasons that I think Raquel deserves it, and because I would love to see someone that I've beat become the freaking champion. It's a nice setup for me.
I was talking about that with a Wally. Like sometimes, like it's weird how I guess what we call MMA math works. Like with somebody who you've beaten, you want to see them do well after you've beaten them because it makes that win over you look even better. And so it's kind of a weird way how I guess we say the MMA math works out.
Yeah, totally. It's one of the reasons that you never really want to talk too much shit about whoever you're going to fight, because if you say someone sucks and then you lose to them, well, what the fuck? You just lost to someone and you said that they suck. And then if you say that they suck and you beat them, well, it's not even that great of an accomplishment now because you already told everyone that they're not that good. So really, not the best for trash talk, but talking about how good everybody is, makes you look good way better going against someone who's good.
Yeah. Now, also Saturday, we've seen tough fight for your teammate Gil. Got a leg injury early in that fight. Is it one of those things like, are you glad he made it through the fight, or part of you would rather have seen the doctor stop the fight just to kind of spare him any of the pain he's probably most certainly dealing with right now?
Well, as a fighter, it's a big difference on a fighter's record to have a TKO, doctor stoppage, or to have a decision. And so the Jeremy Stephens didn't earn a doctor stoppage or a TKO on Gilbert, and that's pretty significant. I think that fight would have been completely different if Jeremy Stephens he got that kick. Man, you can get 1 out of like 100 in the right spot, in the perfect money spot, and he just happened to get a kick in the money spot right at the very beginning. And if he hadn't gotten that, the entire fight would have been completely different. I mean, he couldn't put Gilbert away. He couldn't finish him. Like, Gilbert was still hurting him, even though he only had one leg. He had what could have been a fight-ending injury. I mean, it was a fight-ending injury. On vast majority of other people, that would have ended the fight. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. Gil's just so tough, man. You literally have to drag him out of there. It's one of those things where, sometimes you say a fighter's too tough for their own good, but sometimes, that's what endears them to fans at the same time. So, I really hope Gil doesn't have any significant damage there, and we can see him back in there soon. And, maybe even, within a year or so, we can see them run that back again, too, because, I would really like to see how that fight goes if they were both 100%.
Yeah, exactly. I think that I know it would be a completely different fight.
Yeah, I can only imagine how Carrie's feeling right now, and they're one of the few fighter couples that have still made it through everything. Is it kind of a unique situation to see that, because you don't really see it too often where you have husband and wife both competing at high levels and having a successful relationship. A lot of times you see either one person suffers or the other. I think there's one of the few people that at least in MMA, I think that have been able to pull that off.
Yeah, totally. It's pretty inspiring to watch. It's encouraged me to make some changes in my own life. Just seeing them living at such a high level of their potential, the way that they can help each other out, the way that they can back each other up. It's a pretty high definition of the word team, and they definitely have that team thing down, switching back and forth between being the support for the other person and then when it's the right time, switching back to focusing on oneself. Those are both important skills to have.
Yeah,
and they've got it down.
Yeah, like I said, they're one of the unique people in MMA. I truly love watching what they do inside the cage, and what they do outside of it is just as, like you said, it's inspiring. You don't see it that often, so you have to kind of stand by in awe. Then you're a teammate, so you get to see it up close, where most fans, most people, media, they don't really get to see that aspect of it. So I still think it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. They have their daughter, Layla Kay, and she comes to the gym and she trains, and it's just such a wonderful thing to get to see both the example that Gilbert and Carrie are setting for her as far as pursuing dreams and putting in hard work with integrity. And then in addition, to be able to see such a high level of being able to work with someone else and being able to accommodate each other. So that's a really cool thing, to be able to watch people and see them work well together. If you think about it, there's not a lot of people, I don't know, most of the kids in my generation come from divorced families, and so you don't get the experience of watching people work together on a high level all the time. So it's a nice thing.
Yeah, like I said, like even I remember seeing like when Pat and Rose, when Rose first kind of hit the scene, like they had that type of relationship. But like since Pat kind of retired, it's kind of like you don't really see that anymore. And like I said, I guess we're living in a fortunate world where they're both high level fighters, and it's something we get that some people are having the pleasure of being able to see. I think it's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
It's a rarity in the sport. That's for certain.
Yeah.
But I gotta ask you, have you been the new Ultimate Fighter just started? The flyweight division used to be your home. Some Invicta vets, some UFC vets there. Roxanne's looking awesome. I was so happy that she was the number one seed. It was one of those things. I think. Regardless if she wins or loses this season, I think it give her the confidence. It was one of the things that was definitely missing, the first time she was on the show. But a lot of great talented fighters. Some of them didn't make the show, some of them did. You got some up and coming talent on there. Have you had a chance to sit down and catch any of it yet?
No.
That's all right. Hey, I know everyone's not not really into the Ultimate Fighter shows, but I guess Leslie's one of them. Is it you don't care for the show, or is it not your weight class anymore, or you don't really know anyone?
I just don't watch TV. I'm sure if I was around this show, then I would watch it. If it was on, I would definitely watch it, but it's not part of my lifestyle to sit around and watch TV, so... I'm not going to change my lifestyle just so I can watch some people who may or may not ever get on my radar.
It's understandable. And I think that's one of the things I really like about you, Leslie, is like you're not your typical person. Like even when you were getting ready for one of your latest fights, when all that stuff was going on with the pipeline, and you were down there, speaking your mind, helping out, doing what you could. It's one of the things that I think it's rare that you see athletes kind of push against the grain, and I think it's a refreshing thing too, because it shows that you can stand up and be the athlete, do what you have to do, but also not kind of cut back on who you are as a person and who your beliefs are. I think that's one of the things that makes you a very intriguing person, Leslie.
Cool, thanks. That's nice of you.
It's always it's not just what you do in the cage is why people pay attention. I think that's something that side of a athlete's story is probably more intriguing than what goes on inside the cage. What people do outside of why you're paying attention to them sometimes is more of who people really want to see, not what they put in front of us when you're competing, when you're doing your thing.
Totally. Hey, my phone is beeping at me. I think that we are about out of time.
Okay, Leslie. Really appreciate your time. Anything you want to say before it dies on you? The time is yours, my friend.
No, just thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's always fun to talk about what's going on and start planning on making things happen in the future.
All right. Well, Leslie, enjoy your evening. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for giving us some of it, and you enjoy your evening.
My pleasure. You as well.